Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Chris coming at you from the channel I Am Toys. This is the Hot Toys DeLorean Back to the Future Part 2, the hover conversion. So make sure you hit the 4K option in your YouTube settings so you get this in all its glory. And as you can see, oh, and before I even get into that, please make sure you like, subscribe, to the channel if you like the content, obviously. But as you can see, I'm wasting no time, man, getting into it, showing you this thing from all 360 degrees. And I used to own the previous version, but I ended up selling it because I knew at some point, they were going to come out with the hover conversion, and that's probably why you see a lot of the originals up on eBay right now. And people are still trying to sell them for like $2 or $3 grand. Like, it's crazy. Come on, people. Those things cost $600 on initial release, and now you got the hover conversion out. You're not getting $2 or $3 grand for that. So you need to drop the prices. Just stop. But as you can see, man, this thing looks fantastic, especially the way I do my reviews, man. You guys know, for those of you who have followed my channel for a while, know I am not a fan of having white backgrounds or black backgrounds or anything, because you don't do the piece justice. You completely wash out the details of the piece itself, and you don't get the overall look. These things have to be lit properly. And especially something like this, you have to be able to, doing it like this, giving it some depth perception, having some stuff in the background, just gives you an overall, just much more realistic, dynamic kind of look. I mean, as you can see, this guy rotating around, man, it looks awesome. I mean, if you couldn't see the stand, it'd be like, this thing was actually hovering, and floating around in the air, man. But it looks absolutely sick, man, absolutely sick. And off the bat, even before we even get into closer looks on this, man, pre-order this damn thing if you can. You can get it if you have the money and you have a chance and you got some dough you're sitting on. Jump on it. But let me quick blabbing. Let's get in some closer looks of this this 1/6 scale vehicle from Hot Toys, and we'll get into it. I'm gonna let this guy keep spinning around while we go aerial, so you guys can take a look at it. For me, in my opinion, dude, the only figure you need with this is Doc Brown. I know some people, didn't like the head sculpt and whatnot, but dude, for the hover conversion DeLorean with those goggles on, it just screams, those parts of the movie. It's just iconic. When you think of the DeLorean, for me, I don't think of Marty, or Michael J. Fox driving it. I think of, Doc in those beginning sequences, and that outfit, and it's just really iconic, man. It just screams, those memories, man. Those of you who grew up in the 80s, you know how meaningful this movie is. So the lighting functions, you see the tail lights are all lit up, the burners. You got Mr. Fusion this time around also included. All the capacitors. Generally everything is similar to the first DeLorean, except for basically some extra light up functions inside. You get Mr. Fusion this time, and then you obviously get the hover conversion component. I believe those are the bigger differences, and obviously, as you can see underneath of the vehicle as well, you get the track lighting underneath, which is, I think, pretty darn accurate to the movie, and you'll get a better look at that in a second again as it comes back around. But you saw it there a little bit earlier as well, so you get what I'm saying. The wheels are rubber from what I understand, and on those side attachment pieces, that is actual metal mesh from what I understand, but it's connected to plastic. Those bottom components there, they attach just like the previous DeLorean, and those wheels, that's light up, that's not paint. Those are actually lit up, and looks great. It definitely pops. I think there are a couple inaccuracies about the wheel light up functions, but it's okay. You can give it a pass. They got the DeLorean logo on the front because Hot Toys actually does have the license to the DeLorean logo to make this 1/6 scale vehicle, so that's awesome. The track lighting, like I said, underneath is pretty accurate to the movie, and you've got all the capacitor locations and components, and all the exposure parts that should be out are generally there. I mean, there are some, obviously, if you want to nitpick, there are inconsistencies, but we're not going to get into that, man. I just want to enjoy, the magnificence of this thing, man.
it is just fantastic, man. Like I said, it just screams those memories from the movie. And those of you, like I would say, who were raised by film like I was, I had a single mom. She did the best she could to raise me, but obviously I didn't have a dad around. And films raised me, man. And this was one of the pinnacle movies that raised me as a kid. I learned some of my lessons. And there you go. As you see underneath, the sides, those underneath of the tires, what would be the rim, actually light up as well. That would be my one nitpick, though. I wish they would light up a little bit brighter. So one thing I do wish. But depending on how you have this displayed, because of the arch of the stand, generally you wouldn't see it anyway, unless you actually have it up on something like this and you have it rotating around, while you're actually watching the movie. Or while you just have it up and you're chilling in your basement or your man cave or your living room, whatever, then maybe you might see it a little bit more if you've got it propped up high enough. But anyway, back to what I was saying. This movie itself taught me a lot of things about bravery and whatnot, because I could identify with this movie a lot. I was bullied as a kid, tremendously, constantly picked on, beat up, punched all the time. So there are things about this movie that you can definitely identify with. And I know a lot of people who grew up, in the 80s as well, who had similar experiences can definitely identify with that as well. So again, it's these things, these movies, they have such sentimental value to me, and especially the pieces, that are made based on objects or characters. They really have great value for me. I don't know if I really have any interest in getting the Back to the Future Marty 2 figure again. I had it, but I got rid of it a while back because the sculpt just was bothering me more than it did initially when I got it. But I don't know, you never know, I might pick it back up. But like I said, man, I am very, very ecstatic with this. And as you can see, man, the light up functions just on those wheels, they're bright, man. They pop. Everything just looks really good. And imagine with all the lights off or a little bit dimmer, look great. But just the fact that it lights up like this, this easy, shows that the brightness itself is perfect. Even with it well lit, the way it is in this video, you can still see all the lights, everything kind of screams through. So that's what we want, right? That's what we want from our pieces that are electrically wired and battery operated. We want them to work. But anyway, the like I said, the one peeve I would have with this so far anyway is that I wish the rim lights on the other side, which is a little brighter, but like I said, positioning, how you display this is probably not really that big of a deal. And later on in the video, I'm going to show you guys a little bit closer, too, as well, the inside lighting, and go from there. But look at this guy, look at this, just rotating around, man, and the way, I know a lot of people are fans of light boxes and whatnot, doing reviews, figures, or whether it's vehicles. It's just, man, guys, that's not the way to go. You want depth in your videos, man, which is why, you want to light almost like use studio movie lighting, like you would, like they use in movies for when you review these figures, because they're able to pop more, and you can really kind of get the effect and the overall, feeling and dynamic of how powerful these pieces can look. And again, the truth speaks for itself. Just look at how amazing this thing is, as it turns and the way it really shines, man. But anyway, let's get to a little bit more of the stand, and like I'm showing you here, and we'll get a couple more clear shots. But honestly, this is probably all you guys really need to see it, because it's been rotating around, quite a bit. But if any of you guys wanted to see like where those connection pieces are, that's a good shot right there. And how it stands, generally that's where you want it placed, so it balances right. It's going to take a little bit of feeling out. Once you put it up there, you're going to be like, oh man, is this going to fall? Like, is this going to fall down? But it's not. It's actually held there pretty sturdy, guys. It's actually held pretty sturdy. So that's nice. I've actually moved it from one place to the other by picking it up, and I haven't had any problems with it falling down. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys the inside of the hood and show you how the light up functions work as far as the buttons. There's a couple new nuances about that, and we'll see that on the other side. So I'm going to show you guys underneath the hood because it's where the battery compartment is, and this is how everything lights up. So it's articulated on a hinge here, as you can see, just like the original DeLorean. The battery compartment is under the spare tire as usual, and as you can see, everything's on. All the lights, it's in full hover mode, and if you hit this button, it's now going to shut everything off. So this time around, it's got like a triple function. It turns it off, it puts it into four-wheel car mode, and then you hit it a third time, it puts it, the hover lights are going to come on once it's in, that hover mode. Even if it's not, those other lights will come on regardless, but you're not going to be able to see the inside unless you actually, have it in that mode. So you hit it again, and now, this is just the regular mode. So if, the wheels were regular, or put vertical as opposed to horizontal. I guess that's right? Or vertical instead of horizontal. You would see the rim lights on. You can see the flux capacitor there on a little bit as well. And I'm trying to zoom in on that, but you get it. And you hit it a second time. Now everything should be back on. Headlights, the lights on the other side right there are on, and yeah, that's it. You get the overall dynamic, and then if you were hit it again, it would basically shut everything off. So that's basically the light up function. It's pretty simple enough, right? Not very complex. So let's move on to the next piece of this review. So I just want to show you guys a better shot of the flux capacitor as well. So this is the passenger side open. There's the flux capacitor, and here it is through their fake glass. It's just plastic. And you can see the light behind the the plastic seat there too. That would have been nice if it was actual cloth, man. But when you step it up and you want actual cloth seats and you want die cast and all these other options, guess what? The price gets more expensive. So if you want things at a reasonable price, you got to cut some corners here and there, and that's that. So here is the front dash on the passenger side, and you can see the time travel inputs all there, where you normally type in the dates on the dash there as well, and a little higher shot of it. And then I'm going to try to get over on the other side here. You can see the clock that goes in just the way it did on the original DeLorean. Nothing really new there. Everything is generally the same. And then the stick shift. That is like a pleather kind of material. I don't know if they actually used leather, and you've got the other center console components are generally the same as the DeLorean, the previous one anyway. And now, Mr. Fusion. I'll show you how to open this. So, Mr. Fusion, how do we open this, right? Now that they have included this, so this little red clip, you just basically pull it back, and you just want to make sure it's all the way back. It's really, nothing too complicated, and then you just push this back, and voila, there you go. Complete rocket science, right, folks? Yeah, not so much. And obviously to close it, the same mechanics backwards. There you go. Close that, and then push that clip back, and you are done. There you go, Mr. Fusion. You're closed. I'm going to show this one more time because this will be very helpful to some collectors, where these things actually sit. So you see that little square box with the little rivets in it where it's sitting. There's two gray panels on both sides there. That's where that needs to sit. I don't think anyone showed that right on specifically in any videos, so that's where it has to go. And then on the front, this is where it sits, right there in that spot. So this is going to help you tremendously when you are setting it up, so you don't have to look at the directions and be like, is it in the right spot? Is it in the right spot? So right there, guys, right there. All right, let's close this video out. So let's shut this video down. So those of you who are wondering what Marty McFly figure that is the OG one. This is the one I prefer. It's way better. The sculpt is better. It's not spot on, obviously, but way better than the new version. The new version is just not, that's not Marty McFly. That's not Michael J. Fox. I don't know what Hot Toys was thinking on that one, but to me, it's just not hitting the mark. Those of you who have it, you like it, that's great. I'm glad they came out with a newer version, but for me, that head sculpt is just garbage, man. For me, I'm sorry, but this figure, man, this Doc and this DeLorean is like peanut butter and jelly, man. And honestly, it doesn't even matter if you have the Part 2 Marty McFly or not. I mean, even the OG Marty McFly still looks great with this, this set. All kinds of posing opportunities. You can have all kinds of fun with this. Doc Brown's look could be a little bit, they should have gave a second head sculpt or something, man. But it's great. Overall, everything is just, it's the complete package, man. And I don't know what my next video is going to be, but it'll be coming up probably in the next few weeks. Those of you who like the video, please remember, like, subscribe, share this video if you like the content, and I'll see you at the next video, depending on what that is. And other than that, that's really it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the watch. Deuces.